Happy Jesus. Well, we're doing this live, so happy Monday, everyone. Time for another live commentary. Today, we're taking a look at one of the semifinal bouts from the women's foil event at the Tauber Bischofsheim World Cup that happened this last weekend. I'm super excited to be doing this. So first of all, I don't really know that much about either of these two fencers. On the left, we're going to have Leonie Ebert. She's German, and I believe she's only 18, which means she's still a junior, which is awesome to see a junior doing so well at a senior World Cup like this. And on the right, we have Jeon Hee-suk, who is South Korean. I don't know that much about her. She's definitely not Nam, who I'm much more familiar with. But let's just get right into this thing. 3, 2, 1, and go. So, usual disclaimer, I'm not too familiar with women's foil, as you can probably tell by my lack of knowledge about these fencers beforehand. But, of course, the fencing itself is similar enough that I can still do some analysis on the fly and commentate as normal. So this is one of the semifinals. I should note, Jeon actually just beat, in the round of 8, everyone's favorite mode of public transportation, ASSOLUTI. That was a pretty close bout. I might do that one, or I've already seen it, so I really can't do a live commentary on it. Anyway, it comes out with a marching attack, accelerates, and Ebert gets away from it. And Ebert starts marching herself. Already, yeah, attack right off, or attack left off target is the call. Normally, women's foil, there's less of the marching, but this bout is certainly a little bit different. I'd hesitate to call it a more modern style, but there is certainly more of the marching going on. And Ebert finds a way through with her first attack. Not a bad way to start off this bout for her. I'm really interested to see what Ebert does, because it's pretty rare for someone so young to be doing so well so fast. What's the call going to be? Attack right. I couldn't really tell there, but of course the referee can. So let's see. Jeon's got a little bit of a timid march. She's totally fine with giving it up. Ebert's is a little bit stronger. Now, you could tell by the referee's hand signal there, that was simultaneous blade action from both, but it goes to the attack in that situation. So it's Ebert's speed attack off target. She's being very aggressive, which I like quite a bit. Jeon accelerates, and again Ebert's managing to escape. She's great at pulling distance, it looks like. And again, Jeon tries to step in and do something, but Ebert's able to finish. So it looks like one of Ebert's greatest strengths right now is her ability to just finish her attack, which is difficult to do in the best of times. Women's foil, it can be a little bit trickier even because of the prevalence of squirmy counterattacks. But Jeon's long lunge, wow. Ebert was able to escape from her previous marching attacks, but that was more of a almost Timur Safin style, one and done, just finish super long, and Ebert probably wasn't expecting it. Parry post battle at the end. Final attack is off target from the left. Jeon tried to counterattack and got a light with it, but no dice. Alright, Jeon marches again. Ebert keeps the distance pretty close. I think she's... yeah, she opens it up a lot more when she thinks Jeon's going to actually finish. Now she starts... This time, so you saw Jeon's cue to counterattack there was Ebert going a little bit faster with that march and pulling her arm a little bit back. And she immediately throws out the twisty counterattack, but that's information that Ebert can potentially use in the future. She can maybe bait out that counterattack and countertime parry riposte or something. Riposte left is off target. A little bit sloppy there from Jeon, not getting a light or anything. Question is, can Jeon manage to collapse the distance successfully against Ebert's finish? Because it's been very strong the few times I've seen it. Attack right off target. Yeah, calls a little... Because Ebert clearly lunged much more solidly, but perhaps Jeon just started first. Meanwhile, Jeon tests the bib, just to make sure there's no funny business with the conductivity. And here we go again. Jeon once again marches. Ebert keeping it a little wider this time. Maybe she's afraid of that long lunge. Oh, wow. Steps in with the counterattack, close out in 4. And Jeon was trying to finish straight, but of course Easily deflected there. Ebert marches. Jeon goes for the long lunge into it. It's kind of risky, I think, because Ebert's been able to finish really solidly no matter what Jeon's been trying to do. So I think a long lunge is just going to play right into that. But we'll see. Jeon marches again. She almost kind of looks like a French men's foilist, coming down to 8 often. Although she's going quite a bit slower, and that, yeah, that's nice. So that time she actually, it was almost less of a beat attack and more just her like staying right along the blade as she finished all the way through. I was gesturing there with my arm, but of course you can't see that because I just have a microphone. Again, going, oh, that's nice. So Jeon goes for the long lunge right into Ebert's attack. It's a little bit short. Ebert accelerates, and then Jeon can step in with the counterattack. So instead of waiting for Ebert to accelerate, she can basically force an acceleration by throwing out that possible attack in preparation or counterattack first of all. That's a very nice tactic from her. And that time, Ebert maybe wasn't ready for it, or maybe her technique just isn't quite there to be able to land into that, or her tactics rather. What's the call? Attack left off target. Makes sense. Jeon marches once again. Although Peter's out, Ebert takes it over. These blade contacts are not very solid, but it's enough to turn the tide. Ooh. Ebert tries to finish. I'm not sure if that would be Jeon's parry riposte or maybe counterattack, because there were several blade contacts there, and I couldn't really follow which one was which. Jeon gives her attack up, and there's the remise. That's nice. Kind of a similar tactic to before, although this time she used it on offense. She just went for a straight lunge. It was short. Ebert says, okay, I'm going to start nice and easy, and Jeon collapses in with the remise. Very nice. It's managed to mitigate Ebert's real strength, and again picking her off at long distance with a lunge. Ebert's got to focus up, man. That's it's about quickly getting out of her control. And looks like Jeon's managed to almost entirely neutralize her main strength, which to me it's looked like has just been the ability to finish her attacks when she's starting by marching. But Jeon clearly familiar with the marching paradigm and able to turn things right around. Ebert's going to get a bit of a chance of a breather though with this weapon switch. Maybe some time to think, some time to exchange a meaningful glance with her coach. Let's see if anything changes. This period's gone by pretty quickly so far, only 43 seconds left, so Ebert's in no danger of losing immediately. Ooh. So I thought the first blade contact was Ebert's, but I think there were two after that. So first was Ebert's beat, the second one was Jeon's, the first one was Ebert's parry, second was Jeon's parry, and the third again was Ebert's parry. If I said that right. I'm not sure if I did. Final blade action was parry riposte from the left anyway. Jeon marches once again. Ebert trying to creep up on the distance there a little bit. Now when she marches, Jeon keeps it pretty wide. Kind of a hesitating march there. Accelerates with a long advanced lunge, but that was what Ebert was looking for before. She's able to escape from that tempo just fine. It's the longer, slower lunge that I think caught her out before. Although that time, Ebert flails to the blade and misses it, and... Oh wait, what was the call? Attack no? From Ebert? That's interesting. I didn't see that. Alright, 10 seconds, and they just let it go. So, wow. Yeah, surprisingly a lot of marching, which is something I actually know enough about to talk meaningfully about. So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with what Ebert's been doing against a presumably much more experienced opponent. I believe Jeon's like 33, so she's been around the scene for a while. But she's identified, I guess, Ebert's tactical weaknesses and knows what to show her to cause her to do a certain thing and then can take it over. Case in point, that long lunge into a remise / counterattack, which she managed to apply both offensively and defensively. She would either make a lunge, fall short with it, Ebert decides to start, and then she collapses in with the remise, or on Ebert's march, lunge straight into it. Obviously, Ebert wants to finish immediately, and then do the twisty counterattack. That was a very nice pair of very similar actions. But we'll see. Ebert manages to pull one more back with the parry post before the period's done, so clearly she's still got some fight in her yet. And I don't think we've seen everything that she has, because I think to be competing at this level, her skill set's got to be broader than what we're seeing right here. At least I would hope so. She seems to be holding her own pretty well, so we'll see what else she can pull out. More marching from Jeon. More marching from Ebert. Finishes with a couple beats on her way in. Ooh. Oh, okay. So Jeon started her attack very fast to force Ebert to scramble and not be able to assemble a good defense by the end, but slowed down and finished off target. Kind of unfortunate. But I think Ebert also had the point control, even with that little space, to keep herself alive. Nice slow march here from Ebert. Jeon's bouncing. She's happy. And there. So I think that's what she was threatening on the previous one. Just go straight in with a jump lunge, or Balestra lunge right into that. So before she kind of did that second intention, this time she just hit with it on the first one. So Ebert's got to watch out for... Oh, don't look at the machine, no! What are you doing? Weapon flies out of her hand, or falls out of her hand, I guess. Now, it wasn't the cleanest of actions there from Jeon. Eh, maybe there's a problem with her weapon. Probably not. I don't know. She might ask for a switch. Nope. Oh, maybe. There was a mysterious off target there of some sort. That looks like body cord, maybe? Or maybe the connection between the weapon and the body cord. Well, Well, this is also going to give Ebert a little bit more time to think and maybe try and pick apart Jeon's tactics here. That was a very nice, I don't know if I'd call it, or if the referee called it attack and prep or a counterattack, but long lunge right into Ebert's attack. Clearly very deadly action from her. And as we saw in the previous period, she can follow it up with a twisty counterattack if need be. Okay, I guess she's going to switch weapons, or maybe body cords. And Ebert's just going to chill. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's much more I can say really about this bout so far. What's going on over here? The announcer is saying something in German about probably what's going on right now. Okay, she's switching body cords. She's doing the clever thing. If you don't know about this, by the way, it's a much faster way of switching body cords. You tie the back end to the front end of the body cord you're switching in, and you can just pull it right through your sleeve, and you don't need to take off everything then. Although I imagine pretty much anyone watching this would already know that. But if you didn't, now you know. Meanwhile, Ebert adjusts her hair. It's always important to keep that off your lame if you're a women's foilist or a men's foilist with long enough hair. And looks like we're back. So let's see if it was in fact the body cord that was throwing out those off targets before. Looks like it. Okay, and we finally get to resume this bout. Some applause there. Always great when technical problems are fixed. But on the topic of technical problems, will Ebert be able to solve and find the right technique? Oh god, that was a terrible segue. Manages to take over the attack, finishes a bit too long, and Jeon gets in, but that's going to be a halt before anything happens. Either for core or stepping past it, maybe. So that's nice. Ebert got the right distance, honestly. Jeon was kind of scrambling there, but Ebert finished a bit too long. So her previous nice finishes from that march, if she's accelerating too fast, she's got to watch out. Jeon can step in, and really Jeon should have landed a counterattack there. Not sure why, what caused her to not. Ebert's going to switch weapons again, maybe for another tactical pause. I don't think there were any situations there that were like terribly suspect about not turning the light on when she should have. But very slow second period regardless. Although I don't really know who this benefits more. I mean, Ebert's gotta find some solutions to what's happening. Jeon comes right out with an attack, but Ebert escapes. Ebert marches once again. Accelerates. Gets Jeon flailing, but finishes right before the end. She could have maybe gone for another step there. I don't know. That would have been kind of dangerous, though. Jeon marches and misses the first one. Lands the remise. Actually, the call was attack, so perhaps she... Was the light late, maybe? I don't know. To me, the light looked pretty delayed. So... I'm going to call that a remise, unless proven otherwise by a very smart person in the comments. Jeon marches again. Gives it up. Ebert marches. Oh, staying on the blade a bit too long there. Can't find a way to finish as Jeon collapses the distance. What's the yellow card for? Maybe core to avoid a touch, maybe covering target. I couldn't really tell. Attack left, off target, right through Jeon's parry. That's a very strong action. I haven't seen Ebert do that yet this bout, really. You might see more of that in the future, because she kind of has to keep scoring to stay in this bout. Oh, wow! Wow. I would ask for a test there if I'm Jeon. That was, ugh, that is rough. But very nice parry post there from Ebert. Way to not drop the ball completely. If there's no light, obviously just go for the riposte. Free touch. But that kind of sucks for Jeon. Wow, okay, so these attacks are much more effective from Ebert, and not quite harkening back to the first period where she was able to finish really cleanly from her march, but this longer acceleration, I think if Jeon can't collapse the distance, if she can finish nice and quick, like that, yeah, that's more her style now. So now Jeon's got to switch things up. I don't think parry riposte is the right solution here, because the acceleration is just so fast. And I'm sure Ebert will have enough point control to disengage if she sees it coming anyway. But again, on the march, just lunge right into it. Still a threat. Ebert does not really have a solution for that. Her solution was to change something about the finisher of her attack, but her marching part is still just as vulnerable. Call his attack left. I didn't see necessarily who was attacking, but it was one light anyway. More marching from Ebert. Gotta watch out for that lunge from Jeon, though. There it is again! And this time with the closeout and for good measure. Man, what is Ebert gonna do about that? That is absolutely deadly. Maybe finish to the flank? Left it... Oh, really? Ebert asks for a video review. Referee called the attack right. She did seem to accelerate more, but I'm not sure who actually got off the line first, if anyone. Although that may be enough. Huh. Well, this does not look good for Ebert right now. It's mostly that just straight lunge right into her march and closeout that's been killing her. She's got to find a solution for that, if nothing else. Because I think Jeon can get lucky. Oh, it's reversed. Attack left off target. Cool. Makes sense. Jeon a little bit mad about that, but I guess one less touch is always a good thing for Ebert. What is she going to do in response to this, though? That's my question. If she can find a solution for that action, she might actually be able to come back here. This time she almost tries it herself. Throws out the counterattack. Jeon finishes and parry riposte. At very close distance, by the way. That was like dangerously close distance. I would not rely on that action very much if I were her. What is the call? Wow, I think, yeah. I think Jeon thought it was attack no from the left and then her attack, but we'll see. That did not look particularly continuous from Ebert's side of things. But I don't know. Only time and a quick look at the slow motion video will tell. As always, I wish I had access to it, but... Attack left, wow. I'm going to have to rewatch that touch, because yeah, I don't know. Okay. Wait, was it an 8 or was it 9? I don't know. I don't usually look at the score. Anyway, Jeon marches here. Anyway, nice, kind of a lucky break for Ebert. She hasn't really had to deal with that action from Jeon that I was talking about. but she's been managing to pull herself back. What's it going to be now? Tries it again. Oh, that is nice. Ebert takes one fast step. Jeon immediately goes for that action, crushing the distance counterattack, and Ebert is there with a counter time parry riposte. Just nice, easy parry 4, and then to the chest. Again, I was gesturing, and you can't see that. I don't know why I keep doing that. But that was a very nice adjustment from her. So, again, this kind of shifts the tactical burden onto Jeon. How are you going to deal with that counter time parry riposte? I don't think crushing the distance faster is going to help you much if Ebert is smart about things and slows down her march at the right time. She might go back to the second intention type thing where she makes her first counterattack deliberately short, draws that acceleration, and then goes for the real one. But we shall see. That's a nice adjustment from Ebert, though. What's going to happen? Goes for a fast acceleration, doesn't get the parry post, and Jeon stepped off the strip, I think? Or maybe not. Ebert marches. Oh, wow. Parry post battle. And this time steps into the counterattack when Jeon takes too easy of a step forward. I don't think Jeon was ready to finish right there. And that's... wow. Wow. She's equalized it somehow. That was a very impressive run by her. Goes for the acceleration, but Jeon gets away from it. That was a kind of insincere attack anyway. It's pretty short. Jeon marches. Stops, though. Ebert starts. Okay. A little bit more back and forth. Ebert takes it over. Jeon finds the blade, though. And 16 seconds? I guess it's enough. And no, to be, like, completely, perfectly, technically correct, you should probably wait until after 15 seconds. Just so you don't get a random non-combativity call if the referee doesn't like you. But this referee has no problem with that, I guess. And we go to our second break. That was quite a run there by Ebert. Kind of, I don't know if I'd call it luck that she got some of those kind of questionable calls early on, but that was enough to shift things over. And then that amazing tactical switch for that for her 10th touch, dealing with Jeon's very dangerous counterattack with counter time parry riposte. Which is not necessarily the first solution. Most people just think about how they're finishing their attack. But that Ebert tried that before, as we saw. She adjusted her finish to make it a little longer, a little shorter, different tempos, faster acceleration, and Jeon was still managing to counterattack into her march. So the only solution there is to really adjust something about your march, which Ebert did very well. Now the question is, will Jeon be able to keep up with that tactic? And I have a feeling she will. She's pretty experienced. But in the meantime, Ebert's managed to equalize things, which is no mean feat. Alright, all tied up, third period. What's going to happen now? Both have had some time to get coaching, so we'll see. Ebert comes out with a march. Finishes with a couple beats off target. I've noticed that finish from her with a lot of beats on the blade that may be vulnerable to Jeon stopping really fast and suddenly parry or post, maybe, or maybe counterattack. Counterattack is probably less of an issue because she's so far forward. Oh, Jesus. Everyone misses. Like twice or 3 times. You should have asked the referee to test that though, Jeon. That's... Referee is a little bit, perhaps rightly, getting kind of miffed at this. Although, another fun fact for you, if Jeon tests her weapon on the ground, the referee can't test it himself after that. So if you want to test something, don't bang it on the ground yourself and then ask the referee to check it, because he's not really allowed to. He or she, I should say. But she's going to go ahead and switch weapons again. Not sure how many she has still in reserve, but it's enough. Wow. This is getting kind of tense. It's the age-old youth and enthusiasm versus age and experience debate, possibly. Jeon marches. Finishes, but misses. And Ebert gets a counterattack. Wow. Again, kind of seems like a lucky break there for Ebert. That she didn't really... I hesitate to say... She didn't really do much to earn that touch, but she did... her blade was in the right place at the right time. Parry riposte has to be from Jeon. Yep. So Ebert was finishing with lots of beats before, but this time, I guess I kind of called it. Jeon just stopped moving back, took the parry, and landed the riposte in close as Ebert tries to accelerate. Ebert tries to finish. It's a little short, though. Jeon gets away. Jeon marches, finishes long. Ebert parries, and starts herself. Accelerates with the beats, and again, right as she accelerates, that's Jeon's cue to go for the twisty counterattack. And now we're kind of back to square one. Because before the threat was long lunge right into her relaxed march, and she can counter time against that, but this time when she speeds things way up, Jeon's ready. So, I like that fast step from Ebert. Maybe is there to provoke a counterattack from way out of distance so she can get a counter time again, or maybe just finish. And this time, Jeon, again with the long lunge and closeout, so that time Ebert just wasn't ready to counter time. Which is quite disappointing. She spent most of the second period figuring out that action. And now it's come back to bite her again. So Jeon within one. Can Ebert pull things back again? This is going to be tough, though. Ebert can't rush here, but she does. And again, that accelerating step is all the window Jeon needs to step in with the counterattack. And that's going to seal this bout, 15-12. So this is the... I should say again, this is one of the semifinals from the Talbot Bischofsheim World Cup. I think I'm going to do the other semifinal next, and then possibly the final, if there's no commentary already on it. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. What else? Oh yeah, Toldo versus Chung is... I'm already partway done that, because I started working on it before I knew which was the final round of 16 bout that I was going to do. So expect that fairly soon. And, as always, stay sharp.